Okay, so I'm gonna do this video. Because I know a lot of people, like, you might get into this stuff and start reading this stuff, and then you might think, maybe this isn't real. Maybe YouTube is just the new TV, and they're just doing all the same stuff they did on TV, but they're doing it on YouTube. And yes, that's true. But, you know, I learned, I have that gigantic book. I've read almost that entire book. Every time I go open it up, it seems like I haven't read it before because I've learned things since the last time I've read it, and things come to life as you learn. And so I'm always going back to it. But, you know, I started to think, some of these people that talk, you can hear the sincerity in them, and you can see the brokenness in them. And then some of the people, you can see that they're still under programming. And I just watched all of Arizona Wilder's stuff, and all of Kathy O'Brien, Transformation America, and so I researched all this stuff. And in the midst of this, when I first found the Stargate, all I could think of was, oh my gosh, because my friend had left. And I got to be a little bit vague because, like, a lot of people that were involved in this are under witness protection now. And basically, she was looking into a lot of this MK Ultra stuff and different things on the internet, and she stumbled upon somebody who knew Glen, Keeley, and David Icke and all those types of people, or like whatever. And somehow they got her hooked up with Arizona Wilder, who is Jennifer Green. We'll just say Green because I'm not trying to, like, blow her name out of the water. So Jennifer Green. And so I start looking into this because I didn't know who took her at the time. We didn't know anything. And we just thought, like, she wanted to go and search like archaeologist type of stuff. And we didn't really understand. It seemed really weird, and it seemed very hush-hush and very secretive, which is what seemed even more strange. And she had ice trays in her refrigerator, and they would freeze with spikes shooting up. So if you research microwave technology and research the Jinn, you will find that this is indicative of their presence. So, but I didn't know any of this then. So we were just like, whoa, she said, look at my ice trays. And at nighttime, I didn't realize that she was, like, on the computer and on the phone with these people, like, all night long, where they were just, like, doing brainwashing and mind control. And I believe they were actually using, like, a technology on her. So long story short, she leaves. It was like she had to go. And she, you know, left enough money for her husband to, like, get by a little bit or whatever, and she took their money, and she left with these people who she thought were, like, had her best interest in mind, and you know, she already kind of wanted to get a divorce. Didn't want to get a divorce, but she definitely wanted to be free from that institution that she was in. And so they really preyed off of her, you know, feminine want for freedom, you know, or like equality and whatever. So they definitely manipulated that and used that. But then, you know, I didn't hear from her for a while, and they didn't just take her. They took her out of the country, okay? We've met some other people that were involved in this occult that had fire extinguishers go off in their face, which she had done at the airport. And I have a picture. I will do just a separate slideshow, and I'll just say pictures of Arizona Wilder in Visalia, California, Patsy Ramsey. Patsy Ramsey. So Arizona Wilder is Patsy Ramsey. I have pictures of, she's a crisis actor. She's been a crisis actor for a long time. And I have a picture of her taking my friend out of the country. And then when they got her there, they went in Canada, the Canadian Institute for Political Correctness, which me and Glen, Keeley, and Arizona Wilder have had, like, a fight on the phone and everything. I like fighting with this guy. If this guy took down the Prime Minister of Canada, that is one dumb motherfucker. Because this guy was an idiot on the phone. An idiot. I was like, are you kidding me? This guy's leading a militia of, like, MK Ultra mind control slaves across the world? And who is this? But it was crazy. And they were even telling me when I was looking for my friend, I'm searching everywhere for her, when I realized that they had gotten her leave and that the site was here. And her name, like, means Callie. And when they took her, they said that you're this native Egyptian pharaoh bloodline and all this different stuff. And then some other people called her husband, ex-husband, who was here in town, said, you need to be watching your children because they're going to be after your children. They want that pharaoh bloodline. And then meanwhile, she's in Canada at this ranch where you have to give them all your money, pay for your food, pay for everything, sleep in a hollow, and then when you like run out of money, you're pretty much done. So, but the crazy thing is that they wanted to breed with her. Okay, no, not have sex. They wanted to breed her. Like it was, ew. I was like, ew. Like it'd be one thing if someone was like, oh, I want to have sex with you and make a baby. But it's like, oh, we want to inseminate you. And then this is like the guy, I think it was in California, who dressed up, this old man dressed up like a doctor, and he went door to door giving free breast exams. It's like this guy. He's trying to convince her that if he could, touch her boobs and feel her nipples and everything, that he could tell her royal lineage and her, read her chart and do all that kind of stuff, like through her nipples and through the glands and the mammary glands, and he can tell her past and all this stuff. I'm like, this is the craziest fucking scam I have ever heard of. And she was like, she wouldn't do it because she's not an idiot. She would not do it. I mean, it was like they had her on the brink of mind control for a long time and never fully controlled, because she never gave in her free will, which was they wanted her to compromise herself sexually and do things that she wasn't comfortable with, and since she refused to do them, are not fully able to infiltrate. So this was actually a place of strength for her. But yeah, and then Arizona would call, well, you need to be doing these things that Glen wants you to do, and you need to be being more sexual, and do, it was just like, what the hell? And these people are weird, like really weird. I mean, I don't even care if people do, but it's one thing when you'll take a woman from her babies. She had little kids. I mean, little kids. Her son, after she left, was supposed to be the ring bearer at my wedding. He was little, and then she had another small one. I mean, I don't want to get too much into her life, but I don't need. There were some times where she wouldn't leave her house for like 2 months straight, like seriously, because she was a housewife and she didn't drive, and her husband would get the mail on the way home, and she literally had no reason to leave the house, so she didn't. And I mean, when she maybe come over to my house, and I would be there like every day and stuff. It was just a weird setup, and it wasn't good. But for her to like leave the country, I mean, lots of people get divorced. These people had convinced her that like it was her destiny, and it was. If she's there and she left, then it was her destiny to go there. But it was also my destiny to find out about this stuff so that she can understand what is going on and we can put our stories together. I mean, there's like 3 of us that used to all hang out, speak candid. We used to all hang out in front of my house, and I had like a little, hangout table and chairs. And one time we were all hanging out there. I think we were all smoking a joint in my front yard. Our kids are running amok in the cul-de-sac. I'm like, hey, we some damn worthless housewives. But we weren't. But anyways, it was just a funny story. But once they got her, they tried to breed her, and then they wouldn't let her back into the country, and then she went to somewhere else. And when I called them, when I finally got their phone number and asked, what's going on, I got some pictures of them together, and now I know definitely the Arizona Wilders who took my friend, and I was like, you gotta be joking. My car's back. You gotta be kidding me. And so I went ahead and somebody's here. Called them, and he was like telling me that my friend didn't want to talk to me, that that's why she's not talking to me, and that I couldn't have his number unless I was, hello, I'm doing a video, unless I was one of these infiltrators that has been trying to kill her. And then he accused me of trying to kill Arizona Wilder. And then he said that the NSA would be contacting me, and I just started laughing. So they record these conversations, and I just laughed, and I was like, I'm going on an iPhone, you know what I mean? So it was just a crazy conversation. But he was like lying to me, telling me that she didn't want to talk to me and all this crazy stuff. And then when he was telling me, I was like, wait a minute, like he's telling me all this, trying to make me feel really horrible. But then I was like, but I just talked to her. I have wedding pictures, so. She told me that she got married. They haven't talked to her since she got married. I've talked to her since she got married. She sent me wedding pictures. They were going to come and stay with us for a while, as long as they needed to. We had room, so they were going to come stay with us. I'm like, wait a minute. I talked to her last. He hasn't even talked to her, and he doesn't even know who I am. I'm not sure she didn't spend her days talking about this and that. So, well, she's like running this guy's ranch, or like taking care of the animals. It's weird. It's like people actually pay and give their money to like go on this land and like be brainwashed or be placated almost in a way. So, when I finally did get a hold of another man who's friends with David Icke, in Palm Desert, and who is MK Ultra as well, survivor, and he's on my channel. He subscribes. When I called him and talked to him about it, he said, I mean, they were actually when Arizona, because they didn't know at that time that Arizona was a dog collector. So at this time they didn't know that, and they were kind of like, well, we don't think you should go, and we think you should stay with your children and your husband, and da 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 da. But I mean, it was gone. Like Arizona came to Visalia, took her and left. And Arizona Wilder, Jenny, is an RN. So these people work in hospitals. And also, she has 82 personalities that they've counted. 82 different alters that they have counted. The David Icke interview of Arizona Wilder and David Icke was completely prompted. She was programmed before going on David Icke to say all that stuff about shape-shifting reptilians. So when I say that shape-shifting reptilians are a CIA hoax, know that MK Ultra runs or is ran by the CIA, and that this woman was programmed to answer David Icke's questions in a certain way. Now, was David Icke given a list of questions to ask? Was this a Q&A that was planned, is scripted? She says it was scripted. That there are no shape-shifting reptilians like this, which I am more inclined to believe. So, I mean, it just depends on how you do the shapeshifter. I mean, she basically blasted like every single person on this interview with David Icke, and she's like, you know, I've seen Zacharias Sitchin and the Queen, and sometimes she can't wait until the ritual is done. They just devour the children ahead of time. They don't want to wait. And it was just like, give me a break. First of all, you say the reptilians are completely robotic and they don't have feelings and they don't have souls. They can wait. Okay? They're not humans. You put all this human emotion onto this reptilian figure that you've convinced me of, and now you're saying that they've got like, they can't wait to eat. That's bullshit because they're in the middle of a ritual. Stupid. It's just a stupid story that she tells. And she was prompted to say all that stuff. And I mean, my big thing was when I was on the phone with them was, you know, I don't know where my friend is. We don't know. We don't have any. They said we didn't have anything to do with that. And I said, so what do you do then? You just go into towns, small towns, and take women out of their homes, away from their families, and then you just take them out of the country, and then you don't keep track of them? You don't wonder if they're okay? So, Arizona Wilder is Patsy Ramsey. JonBenét's story was not real. It was to take attraction off of political affairs and another mental attack on the public. And she talks about JonBené Ramsey in her video. That's why she's telling you about that, because she knows that that's fake. So you have to know that the video that's like more blue, where she's got the long hair, is real. I think she's really talking there. The one where she's in the white and she has the short hair, notice they've cut her hair. So this is part of MK Ultra program, and they most likely shaved her head, regrew her hair, and tried to put her through rehab. So in that, you can definitely tell that she is a different person, a much different person. But, you know, look into it for yourself. I have pictures of this woman taking my friend out of the country. I could just do horrible things to her for it. But, you know, like I said, it was her destiny to leave, and it was my destiny to find it. And it was a trigger for me because it was something that, you know, I was so hurt by her leaving and stuff that, that it pushed me, it drove me, you know. And it also put so many things together. I mean, she knows so much stuff now that there's no way that she was ever going to learn that. And plus, I believe that when she went there, she probably met her twin flame, which she's married to now. So, you know, people have to link up, especially if you're a queen, which she is one of these incarnate queens. Especially if you're a queen, like this universe will find a way for you to meet your king, because it has to be done by a certain time. It's already done. Like that's done. If you don't have your king, I don't know what to say. There's only 12 kings and queens. There's only 12 sets. So 12 sets, and then there's like 10 for the 10 kingdoms, and then there's like two different sets. So that's, I mean, most kings and queens have been crowned already. This already started in 2010. It started in 2010. So wait, lying. It was right before my husband proposed to me. So it was like February of 2011. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know how long I've been married. So that's it. Jennifer Green. She got all kinds of different names. Her name's not Jennifer. Just let me say right now, her name's not Jennifer. If you meet like these older women who are 50s and into their 60s, and they're telling you that their name is Jessica, or that their name is let's see, Madison, or if their name is Jennifer, Jenny, like these old women, these are not their names. These are their MK Ultra names. They are given young names, because then when they meet somebody young, that young name forces like a kinship. Like if you had somebody like, oh, this is my friend Agatha, you'd be like, what's this name's Agatha? You know what I mean? But like, you know, and they're old, you know what I mean? But you're like, oh, this is my friend, you know, like I have a cousin, I won't even say her name, but it's a fun name. And her name gives her a character. And it's the same thing with Jenny. That is not her name. And I mean, she probably has a name like Linda. You know what I mean? Like Linda or Barbara or Patricia, you know, or something like that. Something more appropriate to her age. I know about 3 or 4 MK Ultra women in their 60s. They've all got these names. They are names of my generation. And I don't want to say them, but and one person we found out has like 4 names. Dang. And I don't know how many Arizona Wilder has. She's got so many, and then she's actually changed her name several times trying to break free from programming. But in my picture that I post, you will see that she has long, long, long red hair. And what did she say? She said that the first thing that she did when she broke away from this occult was dye her hair, because they like this specific Celtic red-headed or blonde bloodline. And they preferred blonde, but red-headed was acceptable, and she had this red hair. And the first thing she did was dye it brown. And you'll notice now that she got this long red hair again. And she thinks that she is, this is the most important part, she believes that she is the incarnate mother goddess, revelations of a mother goddess, Nefertiti. And I would suggest watching the Stargate show and find out who they say Nefertiti is, and put it up against the doll collector who's trying to continue a program. And you can see in one of her interviews, she stands away from the microphone. She says, "Can you hear me?" And then she gets up close. "Can you hear me now?" Okay, she literally, I used to be a hypnotherapist. She literally started her presentation with a call and response. So it automatically ropes you into her. No one can hear you if you're stepping 2 or 3. She like stepped back a little bit. You'll see. It's a little trick she does. And it's like, come on, I did a year of Tony Robbins Mastery Universe. You can't pull that kind of shit past me. And I was like, oh my gosh, she did a call and response. This woman's a professional speaker. She acts like she's not, but she is. And there's that whole thing. She's like, you know, the doll collector. I call her the doll collector because it's her job to go out a lot, because they contact her, the MK Ultra victims contact her, and in contacting her, they expose themselves for who and what they are. And then when it comes in, and Nefertiti is the goddess who actually has laboratories. She's trying to find a way to become invisible, because there's a I can't remember the name. It's like Inatiru or like Inatu or something like that. It's like a species of like a beetle being, and they have the power to be invisible. I can't remember their name. They're like crazy big beetle, and they actually create a little human child to send to Earth so that he can tell you, my mother made me, I'm dying, this vessel isn't going to last long, We just made this so that I could come here and tell you that there are forces coming to infiltrate your world and yada, yada, yada. And who are the forces coming to infiltrate the world? It's Nefertiti. And what it is she has this, oh God, it's like a laboratory where she even like puts like time bombs in people's hearts. They all have to go for this ritual with this handprint ritual. It's like a rite of passage type ritual they have to do because they have these nanites inside of them. And she has a machine that people would stand on, and then like whoop, all your DNA would hover above you, and she could move your DNA around. And so she was, because the Goa'uld inhabit human bodies, she's trying to figure out how she can make the human body become invisible. So she's, you know, completely always messing with these humans, but the humans are all disfigured and mutants. And they're always upset. Well, they worship her because they think that she is constantly trying to find a cure for them and constantly trying to fix them. But she could fix them like that. She made them deformed so that they would worship her and revere her and trust her, that sometimes she was making progress, and oh, she'll heal one of them, maybe the other ones, and they would like, you know, really, and at the end, I think they all got healed, and then they all put her in that machine and did something to her. So you have to check it out, but it's kind of like the same thing as Arizona Wilder really is doing. And as she's saying, she's this character, Nefertiti, because she's literally, I mean, if you really look into the Egypt story of the Bible, you will find that Nefertiti was a queen at that time, but I don't want to get into so much biblical stuff, and I don't want to say something wrong. But they were involved with the Adamites and the Evites and the manipulation of DNA. So when you learn all this type of stuff, and that's just totally something, I think that was Jesus from Egypt, or so it's a book, Jesus in Egypt, or something like that. But so that's interesting, because she's actually somebody who, like, all these dolls go to her thinking that they're going to get help and understanding, or just something. And she messes them up even more, and she manipulates them even more, and now she wants them to like breed for her. So you can see what's going on, and I think it's fitting that she calls herself Nefertiti. But I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I need to say anything else necessarily about Arizona Wild or Jennifer Green. I think she goes by Jennifer La Verde, or something like that. And the green goes with Dr. Mengele. That's all about Dr. Mengele, Dr. Green, and who is also in the Lennon book. And if you just look up, Dr. Green, Red High Heels, Dr. Green, The Beatles, Dr. Green, Sharon Tate, Dr. Green, Charles Manson. Ooh, I gotta do a video on Charles Manson. I live very close to where Charles Manson is, so I'm gonna do a video, because I always talk to people like, oh, I talked at his transporter. So anyways, let me know what you think. I would check out Arizona Wilder. Like I said, when she's got the long hair and it's like blue in the background, she's wearing a blue shirt. That one's real, but it was like after she came out, they snatched her right back up. She went into rehab. And her husband, Glen Keeley, Canadian Institute for Political Correctness, he supposedly gets kidnapped by the cell, and they put him in a box, and they carry him around wherever, and he has to just tap when he's hungry or when he has to go to the bathroom, and they put him back in there. He can never see. And then he'll wake up in a hotel room after 3 days, not know where he's been and stuff. And then he has, like, out in the woods, like a circle of chairs on their property, and there's like always a fly swatter sitting out there, because when the cell comes into human form, there's a lot of flies, and they swat the flies. And he believes a new member of his cell is Steve Jobs. That's who just joined his cell, Steve Jobs. So I'm not even saying it's not even true. I'm just saying there it is.